Welcome back to Drive Time, where we're going to try to get out of the sun. Now I'm just backlit. There's no good way to do this. Ah! Welcome back to Drive Time with KJ. I'm your host, KJ Bell. This is part 3 in our Why Office Supplies Are Awful series. This is the final installment, the grand finale. The grand finale is a bit too grand for what we're doing here today. And I thought you were moving faster. Okay. And Sunset Boulevard. Oh, and the sun. We're back. It's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, he said to himself, trying to convince himself that it didn't have to be perfect. It's part 3 in the office supplies. We're talking about filing things to do with filing. We're going to start with binders. I love binders. I do. I have so many of them. They're great. They're wonderful for organization. Yeah. You can put stuff in them. Obviously, that's why it's filing. I keep all of my writing stuff in various binders so I can move it around. It's great. It's great. But have you ever slightly bent one of the rings on a binder? If you do that, set it on fire. It's not good anymore. You can't use it. You can't bend it back, and they're not gonna turn. It becomes useless if you can't turn it. When you think about it, they do get kind of expensive, right? I mean, like, ridiculously so. You walk into a Staples, and if you don't buy the Staples brand, you're spending like $17 on a binder. It's like, no, why? It is 3 pieces of cardboard wrapped in plastic with little metal things. That's all it is. Maybe I should start making my own binders. Would you buy binders if I made them? Artisan binders? Then they definitely would be $17 in that case. The other thing about one thing that is annoying about them though is like, how do you put them together? If it's not full, you can't like really put it on a bookshelf, because then they do that weird thing where like they all collapse and it starts to make a circle. So you have to fill them, or you have to do that thing where you stack them back. You stack them different. Like this one faces this, the front faces this way, and then the other one that's like this. Offset? Is that the word I'm going for? Sure, let's go with it. You have to stack them in that way to where it makes sense. And that can be annoying if you're trying to put them on a shelf. And why is it so hard to find a 1/2-inch binder that is not black or white? Why? You can get 1.5-inch binders in every color under the sun, but a 1/2-inch binder, I love a 1/2-inch binder. They're the perfect size for so many things. But I can only do a black one or a white one. I found a blue one once and it was like, ooh. And if you do find a colored one, it's that flimsy. It's just the plastic without the cardboard, and it's all flimsy and doesn't really do anything, and that's annoying. Sunset Tacos. I've never seen that place before. Is that good? Is it good? If you know if Sunset Tacos is good, drop a comment. I'd love to know. I like a good taco. It's not on Sunset. It's off of Sunset, but that doesn't matter. Hole punches. Now, most of what I say will apply to the 3-hole punch variety, right? But you got the one with that's like a scissors. I have never said a scissors in my life. But you've got that one that's like a pair of pliers, and then you've got the 2-hole punch for the top of pages that they use at like doctor's offices and stuff. But I'm going to be mostly talking about the 3-hole punch. I think the worst thing, the pain that everybody who's ever used one of these knows, is that thing when you think all the pages are all the way in, you think they're in there, and then you punch it, and you've just punched a lovely semicircular hole in the edge of the page. And then you can't get the paper in far enough to make the actual hole you need, so you either have to offset it obnoxiously or find one of those little round stickers that you can find, those reinforcement tabs, and that's annoying. And some of them, I think it's mostly an age thing, because I assume they dull over time, right? But some of them don't punch as well as they maybe used to. So you end up with 2 holes punched and then a 3rd hole that has it's like the indentation of a hole. It's maybe the suggestion and you just got, it's just like a circular dent in the paper, or when it gets stuck down in the paper. I worked at a place where it would stick all the time, and I was like, can we get a new one? And they're like, no, that one has to work until it falls apart. So you would punch papers, and then you would have to pull the thing up. Eventually you had to get needle nose pliers to pull the damn thing back up yourself. It was horrendous. And it made a terrible sound. Terrible, terrible sound. Then, of course, you have the confetti situation that comes from using a hole punch. It's like, have you ever gone to empty the thing and dropped it? Oh, that's just awful. You have to get a vacuum. You have to. There's no way you can pick them up. You have to get a vacuum, and even then, it's not quite as bad as glitter, but it's close. Who is honking? At whom? Oh, we got sirens. We got sirens, people. In and out trays. Just pile them. Just pile them. In and out trays are just a scam made up by big office supply to get your money. That's all it is. I mean, why pay to have a piece of plastic on your desk under the pile when you can just have the pile on your desk and save a couple of bucks, you know? And I am an expert on pile. If you saw my office, I've just accepted this about myself. I will just constantly live in piles. It doesn't matter what I do. I just move papers from one pile to the other, and they are kind of organized, and I sometimes know where. It's like, oh, it's in that pile. Oh, no, this was in that pile. And then sometimes I get a lovely surprise, like something from 5 years ago being in the same pile, being on top of something that I had 3 days ago. I don't know. Maybe if I had in-and-out trays, it would fix it, but I doubt it. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe you do need the labels of in and out. In which case, sure. Get your trays. Have your fun, girl. Just know that you are a better person than I am, and I salute you for being able to keep your piles organized more so than I can. My organized disorganization is. I'm gonna die in piles. The papers are just gonna stack up. That's what I hoard. I hoard paper. It's a problem. I would continue, but there is an ambulance making it. Really? Wow. So we're holding. Hold for sound. File cabinets. We can't talk about filing without talking about file cabinets. It astounds me that in this day and age, the 2020s, that they are making filing cabinets without the things to hang folders in them. What? Why? We only use file cabinets for that purpose. And even if we're not using them for that purpose, it's not like the tiny space that little rail takes up is going to affect things very much. Why are we making file cabinets without the file option? If it were the 1990s, I would understand. And like most things, with file cabinets, there's not quite as much variety as there is for something like a pen, but it is a lot. It's a lot. You've got metal or wood, you've got the sideways or that way, letter or legal. It's too much. And again, when you actually get the folders for them, we've got the variety there, right? You've got hanging manila. Do you want a third of the top of the folder or full length? It's ridiculous. There are few things more painful than a paper cut from a manila folder too. All that variety just leads to too much diversity in a filing system, right? Everyone has a different way of doing things, and that's not a problem, but there's too many variables. There's too many ways to be different. It's a problem. We need some standardization in the filing area. And I never thought I would be saying that, but we do. Well, that was a rather lackluster end to this grand finale, but the phone is dying, so I'm gonna have to stop. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm your host, KJ Bell. Follow me on the Twitter tweeting and the tickety talks and all that stuff. Like and subscribe and all of that social media things. And let's hope your drive is better than mine, less sun in your eyes.